Starting.
Oh, I'm starting.
Hey, everybody. We are here live. Argo Live. And sorry for the delay. We have some technical difficulties, but this is Captain Jeff, and I have with me Captain Dave Rowe aboard his stink pot, and Nick Gaffney out of Florida. And we have a special guest tonight, Trip Smith. He is, I wouldn't say a world traveler, but he's traveling the waters around the United States, and look forward to hearing what he's been up to the last couple months when we can get that echo. Stop.
Trying to get a hold of it.
How's that?
Happy to be here.
I'm happy to be here.
I think it's Dave.
Yeah, Dave's.
I'm having big trouble over here.
Can you hear us,
All right.
Dave?
I'm trying to. Yeah. Let's do it this way. Maybe this will work better.
Yes. Sounds much
All
better.
right. Well, welcome everybody. Sorry for the delay. We are kind of all over the place this month, both physically and technically. I'm actually at the Anacortes Boat Show north of Seattle, and enjoying my time up here, seeing the San Juan Islands, and just gorgeous up here. Like I said, Dave's aboard his boat, Stink Pot. I know he was heading up the East Coast the past month or so, stopping at various rendezvous, the latest, the AGLCA rendezvous in Norfolk. And Nick is based down in Florida for us. And Trip, you're also down south too, right?
Yes, I'm in Alabama today.
All right. Well, Trip has he kind of travels the southern United States. He's got a bunch of followers, and look forward to hearing more from him in a little bit. But as always, we're here to answer any questions you guys might have. They could be Argo related. They could be just general boating related. They could be fishing related. So we're here to answer any questions you guys might have. But in the meantime, we'll talk a little bit about what we have going on in Argo. New features that just came out, features that we're working on that should come out in the next few weeks. But just jump in with any questions you might have, and I assume Dave is keeping an eyeball on any questions that might come in.
Trying.
As far as Argo and really some exciting things, we last month we kind of previewed what we were coming out with in terms of a wind overlay and also rain and lightning. We did release that live, and we made some improvements, particularly in the wind side. And guys, I don't know if we can demo that or not, or we may just want me to talk to that.
Just talk to it.
No demo. Yeah, so as far as the wind goes, we have an overlay. It provides a 72-hour forecast, and you can very easily jump, backwards and forwards 6 hours at a time. If you jump forward, a couple of days, and you want to go jump back to the current time, you just hit the current date in the center, and that'll jump you back to the current time. You can also tap on the scale, and it'll give you the Beaufort scale, which gives you a really nice range of all the different color gradients based on wind intensity and what that speed is. So it's very easy to kind of get a sense for the speeds that you're looking at. And there is some subtle differences, I think, also in terms of the streams, the density of the streams, the size of the streams based on how intense the wind level is. But check it out. It looks really wonderful in satellite view. It really pops. We also added rain and lightning. We don't have a 72-hour forecast on that, but you do get a 1 hour video. So you get a sense for what might be coming in your area. So that was, like I said, that was previewed. It's live now on iOS, on Android. I think it's working really well. Another thing we just recently came out with last week, something we've been looking at doing for a couple of years now and finally got it, and that's more dynamic depth numbers than we've ever had. Not only can you change the density and the font size and the font color, but they don't rotate on you. So if you go from north up to coarse up, the numbers stay horizontal, something that was an annoyance to me and some other users. If you wanted course up, a lot of times your numbers were kind of rotated with the map, but no longer does that happen. So check that out. That's been out for a week now. Something else we just added, particularly if you boat on the inland river system, we added all the sailing lines. So there's a permanent fixture of the sailing lines on all the inland rivers that the Army Corps provides. We're looking at doing the same thing for NOAA. It would probably be more subtle, kind of like the NOAA E&C, but you will see kind of a navigation line that you might be used to seeing on NOAA charts along the ICW and other waterways. What else? We've had a lot coming out. We also added some shading for restricted areas that you avoid in Argo. You know, if the routing is avoiding a restricted area, they're now shaded in red. We might look at doing additional fishing or additional restricted areas that are not permanently avoid areas, but maybe for other reasons, for anchoring, for fishing, things like that. Add another layer of restricted areas that you can bring up, you know, occasionally if you want to see that.
We are starting to get some questions here, Jeff.
All right.
And I'll let you read this one so I'm not creating an echo.
Yeah, I think the first one is, okay, hello, this is Nacho in Tampa, Florida. The restricted areas are only visible in the NOAA chart, not the standard area chart. That should not be true. Maybe we have an area or one restricted area or several restricted areas, military and military might make sense that we don't have. I guess we need to check and determine whether that's I wouldn't say temporary restricted area, but some military restricted areas are sort of based on scheduling, not 100% permanently prohibited and thus avoided. But if that's one that we should have displayed on our standard charts, then yeah, we need to look into that and find out why that's not on there. But what the intent was every restricted area that is entry prohibited 100% should be marked not only on the NOAA E&C but on the standard chart as well. So if we're missing a few, we need to find out why.
Well, he says this one is 24 hours, 365.
Yeah,
so.
well, I see it was McDill, so we'll take a look at that. Yeah, I'm not surprised we don't have a couple. NOAA makes it very confusing in terms of their coding as to which ones, particularly when it comes to military restricted areas, but we'll get that fixed.
Right. What else did we have new?
A couple other questions you want to throw up there?
Yeah, we can grab this one. There was no way to turn off the wind once clicked.
Good question, and I kind of debated how we did that. Our developers, we had a discussion a few weeks ago about that. The way it works, unless it's not working in your case, is you need to tap it a second time to turn it off. So you would tap the wind icon or the weather icon, and that brings up your choices of wind, rain, and lightning. And if wind is toggled on, you have the option there to change it to rain or change it to lightning. But if you tap on the wind that's already been turned on, that will toggle it off.
So your indicator on the screen is actually a dark navy button when it's turned on. And just like Jeff said, so you press the weather button and then you'll see 3 separate buttons, one for each category. And you can only select one at a time right now. But when that button is the navy color, that indicates that a layer is on. And then when you toggle it off, it will turn white. So just a couple clicks away.
Yeah, my thought consideration, I think, was to just be able to toggle it on off using the main button versus having to go into the 3 buttons and then toggle the button off. But it should go off. If it's not, let us know.
Okay. Depth number disappears at certain zoom levels and returns after you zoom past the blank zoom.
Yeah, I guess my question would be, is that the NOAA ENC view, or is that our standard view? Yeah, these charts with all the tiles are tricky. As you zoom in, zoom out, it brings up different tiles. There was also, not in the latest version, but there was also some collision avoidance going on there. So if 2 numbers or 2 icons were close to each other, one might disappear, and we I believe have removed that collision from occurring. So it shouldn't be disappearing. So yeah, please let us know where you're seeing that. We can look into that a little bit further.
Hey,
but
he confirmed it's the Argo standard view.
yeah, make sure you've got the latest version, and that's 3.5.1. You can go to the menu button in the upper right-hand corner, scroll to the bottom, and that'll give you the version number. But we're going to walk away.
They shouldn't be disappearing for you, but we can
No.
get that figured out. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say we're going to walk away tonight with some homework.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we were going through the new stuff.
yeah, what else do we have new? Like I said, there's been a lot, and all the new things that we're bringing in is wonderful. But as you can see, it does create not only some issues with the features themselves, but in some cases we regress and we have some bugs, on previous features that were working. So it's good and bad, I guess. As we improve, it makes it a challenge to maintain a really good, stable app with no bugs, but we're doing the best we can. I think that kind of covers a lot of the main new features. I don't know if we kind of overlooked it, but one thing you might want to look at is if you do a long press on the map, you can always get the current location coordinates. You can drop a pin using that. But you also should see the current wind speed and direction, and I think even gust speed at that location. So do a long press. It does provide you a little bit of information, and also some new information, regarding wind that we didn't have before.
And that works when the wind layer is enabled, just to be clear. So that long press enabled when you want to see the gusts and wind, just make sure you toggle the wind layer on, and then anywhere that you press on the map will give you that information.
Some really cool features we are close to bringing out soon. One I forgot. It's a good one. We added additional information along the route segments. So those of you that are creating, either just a A to B route, but if you add waypoints for different stops along the way, you now get information along the route segments, such as distance, duration, fuel used if you've got that set up in your profile, as well as heading information. So check that out. If you don't see it, you do need to toggle it on. You need to go to route settings. So route settings has an option in there for you to toggle on the additional route segment information. It kind of comes on as default, turned off.
Nice. Yeah, somebody was just saying that they really like the long press to get the wind info. So.
Yeah. It's also a good way to create a route, which Dave likes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Some new things we got coming out. We're working on adding mile markers and navigational ads to our search capability. So if you're someone that's traveling the loop, traveling the intercoastal, you want to very easily find, mile 189, you soon will be able to do that. We're going to add that to our search capability. What else? Also a big one for those that are cruising and probably using a tablet. We've revamped all of the UI for tablets so they take advantage of the full screen. Up until now, what you get is basically a phone UI just thrown onto a tablet. So it's really not taking advantage of all the space and real estate you have on a tablet. So it's a big difference, a big change. It's taken a lot of work because of all the different screens we've had to change. But I think it's going to make using Argo on a tablet significantly better. So that's close. I think we're going to have that out in the next week or two.
I can't wait for that, Jeff.
Yeah, it's a long time coming. You kind of get a taste of it with the web app, but this is going to be pretty cool. What else? Continuing to make more and more changes to the trip log, making it easier for you to use. We add thumbnails, increasing the performance. We're adding small arrows to the preview map, so you can very easily see all of your routes and trips, from a map view perspective. Just all subtle changes, but trying to make it more user friendly as you go in to look at your routes, your tracks, and your trips.
So we have a couple of other questions here. This person is asking what map layer settings allow them to see the restricted areas. I'm going to be honest with you here, Jeff. I haven't seen the restricted areas yet, too. So I think we might have a display issue happening that it's preventing some of us from seeing them.
We can look into that. Last I checked, they were showing up, but yeah, I'll take a look at that. I know we are only showing a very small portion of the restricted areas. That could be part of it. But as the gentleman said before, we should, something like the MacDill Air Force Base, 100%
Right.
entry prohibited. Yeah, that should be on there. We should be showing them on all views, but like I said, they're only those restricted areas where entry is prohibited 100% of the time.
And it is a new feature that we're working on. So yeah, I think it's something that's obviously important to us too, right? We've had a lot of requests for it, so we'll brushing that up.
Our routing has been avoiding these areas for quite some time. We just finally got around to, we realized we need to provide more detailed display of these kinds of things, dredged channels, restricted areas, navigational lines, things that you might be accustomed to seeing on a NOAA chart. We're going to try and get them on your standard satellite and terrain views. So that's a focus, what we're working on right now.
One more here, and then we probably should talk with Tripp here and see what's going on with him. But Ian is asking about spotty cell coverage and offline capability.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I said, I'm at the Anacortes Boat Show, and I had that same conversation with someone today. They were asking me what our focus is going to be, in the next month or so, and I said offline. I want to get the offline. I mean, we do have offline capabilities. You can download offline charts. You can create routes and then download them on your device that are available when you're offline, but offline doesn't work 100% like Navionics. Navionics their default is offline. That's how it works. And we want Argo to work the same way. You should be able to do pretty much anything navigation related when you're offline. There shouldn't be any restrictions, and that includes auto routing. So if you're out there and you need to create or edit an auto route, you should be able to do that offline. So that's a focus in the next month or two.
Excellent. Now, Tripp, is that a Gibson on your wall?
It sure is.
That's a good-looking guitar, my friend. Tripp Smith, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a 100-ton master boat captain, and I do everything from deliveries to private yacht work to chase boat work with super yachts to work for boat tests and testing a variety of boats as one of their on-camera test boat captains. And I have a YouTube channel where I create my own content, which is my primary baby. And I, oftentimes when I do a delivery or I'm on a chase boat or something like that, I'll have the opportunity to film, or I have my own boat and I film multi-day adventures on the water. And I just like to get out there and have a good time and drive boats I can't afford, and just, enjoy, an adventure, exploring and learning.
I'm always driving a boat I can't afford.
Isn't everybody?
It's part of the plan.
That's right. That's right.
So
Well-
how long have you been using Argo?
Jeff, how long have I been?
I think
Over
2 years.
Yeah, quite a while. So I remember when it first came out, or when I first got used to it, I was running on my Sea Dory. I think I was doing a loop around the St. Johns River, and I believe that was the first trip that I was using it on, and it was pretty handy to plan my routes and get quick, navigation or quick distances between fuel stops and things like that. So, and of course, that's what I use it the most for when I'm on a delivery. So it's extremely handy because, on a delivery, things are always dynamic between weather and stops, and you're always trying to get as far as you can for that day. So there's never really a hard set plan. It's just like, how far can we go? How far will fuel allow and weather allow and time allow and a lot of other variables. And I'm always hopping on Argo and saying, boom, this many miles to this marina, this many miles to this, blah, 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 this inlet, blah, blah, blah. So I'm constantly on Argo multiple times a day when I'm on delivery.
That's cool.
Yeah,
It
it's great to have someone that's he's using Argo, and it comes in handy for what he's doing all the time. And I don't know how many followers you have, but I know you've got plenty, and we hear from them all the time. We survey, how'd you hear about Argo, and Trip Smith comes up every week.
Awesome. That's great to hear.
Yeah, no, it's been great. You obviously are. You found it to be handy, and you're not afraid to let others that are following some of your content know.
Yeah, no, if I find a useful tool, regardless if it's, a yummy snack or or an app or a nice line, I'm going to share it because I think, everyone needs to learn the easy way instead of how I've learned the hard way. A lot of things, why not share good things to good people?
Yeah, it's been great having you follow us and promote it as you have. And we one thing, and I will say it, his followers love to follow him on his trips, and he's pressed us to improve that feature. I know right now you can see a lot of boater icons, but we're working hard in the last week or two to make it much clear in terms of finding an ambassador like Trip out on the water, or Dave, also your friends or your club members. So by filtering on them, you should be able to see them at any Zoom level and easily find friends, club members, or ambassadors on the water. And it's a feature we've had in there for a long time, but we're getting to around to really making sure it works well, because I think it's a great feature.
Agreed.
I was able to find Trip, a week or so ago, but it was such a tiny little icon, and I had to zoom in. If I didn't know exactly where he was, it was really tough to find him. So we're making that a lot easier.
Yeah, that's the same thing that my biggest follower says, and that's my mom. She's always like, "Where are you at today?" And so she's always concerned about her boy. So I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, and for those that aren't aware, you can follow on any device, whether it be the mobile app or the web app. You can follow your friends and family or club members when they're out on the water and using it. So it's you're not necessarily tracked when you're heading to target. It's when you're on the water and active using the app.
So what do you have coming up, Trip?
Well, this Saturday I'm flying down to Miami to hop on a Galleon 680 fly to run up to Rhode Island. And just this past week, I got off of a 46-foot Prestige that I was taking from Destin, Florida, up to Rhode Island. So that was through the Gulf of Mexico, across the Big Bend, down to Key Largo, since the Okeechobee Waterway was so low without, they're not getting a lot of water, rain down there, and then all the way up the East Coast, and apparently just past you, Dave, in Norfolk, and we made it almost all the way before boating happened.
You made good time. I was trying to track you, and you were moving.
We were, well, when I'm on a delivery, there's a lot of things that come into play, but mostly I'm working in the best interests of the owner, trying to move the boat as quickly and efficiently as possible each and every day. So yeah, we've made several 200+ mile days, which is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
That's great. Now, are you filming the entire time when you're doing these deliveries, or is that just in the Seador that you're doing the?
So there's some deliveries when I film. My last 2 or 3 I was not filming because I had owners on board, and sometimes that's just I just don't do it when the owners are on board most of the time. And this next one will be on board as well, so probably not going to film, but whenever I'm by myself, absolutely I'm going to be filming.
Yeah, I actually watched that St. John's River trip you did. That was a great. I love the St. John's River. It's one of my favorite areas to cruise.
Okay. So. I love that trip. I mean, it was 7 or 8 days just cruising on my little boat, starting from the middle of nowhere and just running all the way up to Jacksonville and came back down to Titusville. So I was only had a 60-mile trip across the land with my boat or with my truck and trailer. Almost made a complete loop. It was great.
Fantastic stuff. I love your channel. Thanks for
you,
joining us today.
Yeah.
So where do people find you, Trip?
On YouTube. Just Trip Smith on YouTube, and there's not a lot of other Trip Smiths on there, so you will get me. But I'm also on Instagram as Trip Out There, and that's where I post live updates of what I'm doing day to day. And so that's where you guys will probably follow me on my story as I was headed up the East Coast. So either one or the other, and I'm pretty easy to reach. And if anyone ever has any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them.
That's awesome. Speaking of questions, though, we got a couple while we were just chatting. I lose my marina names when I edit my trips on the web app. I can edit fine on my phone. You may already be working on this. I'm just checking status.
We are working on it. In fact, I heard from my developers that they've got it fixed. Maybe they haven't released it yet, but I'll be checking on that tonight. I think if it's not out, it'll be coming out tomorrow. So yeah, if I understand what he's talking about, and I saw it as well, when you edit a trip, it converts the name of the place to just the coordinates. So you lose the name, and wasn't doing it on the mobile app, but it was doing it on the web app, and I think we've got that fixed.
We got another one here. Social. I have been getting some ahoys. Is there a way for them to pop up as notifications on the iPhone in addition to in the app? So as phone notifications.
Yeah, that. I guess why I'm hesitating there is I'm trying to recall what social actions actually come across as a notification. I thought Ahoy's might have, but maybe not. Yeah, we can certainly look into that. I know that there's a marker, a red marker that appears on the notification icon, as well as possibly the social icon, under the menu. But yeah, if you're not opening the menu, you may not see that. Yeah, we can look into that.
That kind of coincides with some of the other things that we're looking at adding to the notification world and different lock screen options. So we will certainly take a look at that alongside the other features that we have planned for the notification world.
I wouldn't mind having that. I would like that, because I do get ahoys and I'll get on there and be like, oh my goodness, I missed these, and I wish I could have responded a little bit quicker.
Great. Yeah, we've been so focused on navigation features. Sometimes we forget that we do have, the social side, and because we wanted to differentiate our app from a lot of the other navigation apps, and for friends, for groups, for followers, I think it can be a neat feature. So we need to get back to actually looking at some of that and getting up and working properly.
Exactly. Well,
Is that it?
How do we feel? Yeah, we've pretty well chugged through our questions and whatnot. We have a couple of suggestions here that I think we can take up offline.
Okay.
But I think we've nailed down another month here, guys.
Well, I don't know. Before we leave, is there any news spot on fishing? I mean, for any of the fishing.
What's new in the fishing world?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Nick's been hard at work enhancing Spot On, and some of the stuff he's doing is really cool. So yeah, just give us a 30 to 60-second update on what you got going on in your world.
So we did add a new route feature into Spot On. It's not an auto route feature yet, but now you can plan your drifts or your different tracks that you want to run. But what's really cool and coming up around the corner here is a new way to help plan your fishing trips. So I would say within the next month or so, you're going to start to see things that are more informed about marine conditions, but also the scientific data that points to where, when, and why. So we're excited to give you more details around that as it comes out, but we can say that it's going to help you target more fish, different spots, and really just should make life easier. That's what we're after.
Yeah, I mean, fishing should be a sport. Hopefully you don't make it too easy, but you're doing some pretty cool stuff.
Well, the best part about what we do in boating and fishing is it's always fun, right? So we're here to have fun and make sure that you enjoy it. And more importantly, we want it to be something that anyone from a newcomer could use all the way up to the guys that use it on a commercial level. So hopefully our tool can reach a very wide audience, but again, it has that same welcoming Argo feel of, working close with our team.
Yeah, it's cool stuff.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Nick, you get too easy for me. So the better you get it, the better chances I'll have, because I'm not the best fisherman. I mean, I can fish. I just have trouble catching.
Oh, well, this should help you out then. We'll get that figured out.
I appreciate that.
Take me on one of those trips with those nice boats. We'll figure something out.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We should do one of these shows on one of those.
Hey, I'm in.
Well, we do this little get together every month on the second Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And the next time we're going to be doing this is on June 11th. So I hope everybody joins us then. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. And unless somebody has something else to add, thank you and good night.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.
Boy, see you all later.